Anyway, the next artist I think of is this. I just barely found this out, so I put this in a couple weeks. Just a couple weeks ago. An artist from Rotterdam named Joep van Lieshout, who is crazy, I think, but a nice guy, and he works in this sort of commune, anarchistic commune at some point on the end of the pier. At one point, he declared independence from the Netherlands and set up his own country, and he like mounted a giant machine gun on top of a Mercedes wagon. He was like patrolling the pier, you know, as a sort of performance gestures. I don't, you know, but he's interested in this idea, the territory between, art and an object, and function and uselessness, and handmade and machine-made. And he's also, I think, obviously kind of interested in the minimalist era and aesthetic and the sort of the tenets of minimalism, sort of poking around and seeing what those minimalists were up to back in the 60s and 70s. So these are some of Joep's sculptures, which, if they look like furniture, they're probably supposed to. This is a Judd stack. It's from Christian, actually. It doesn't fit. So I think he's definitely interested in Judd art, but he's also, and this is another stack, he's also interested in Judd's furniture. And in looking at, Judd made a distinction between his art and his furniture that I think a lot of people just in passing might not make when they look at, this versus, this. So I'm toggling between Lieshout and Judd, and I'm losing myself, actually. But these are, what Joep van Lieshout did was he'd make these as editions, and you could commission them, you could order them off of sort of, you build them to order. They're all handmade with fiberglass wrapped around like wood core. So they're not machined at all, and they're very hand finished, and they're very rough. It's like the rough kind of fiberglass of like a mate boat or something, as opposed to like the fine finish of, say, a minimalist sculpture. These are Judd's again. And he was very interested, as I said, in utility, so he started making some with faucets on them. And these are actually usable bathroom appliances. He was interested in the body in the sense that, that art is so close to the carnal, hedonistic something or other, and it's all about the body, and it's this erotic thing. And I'm like, none of those tubs looks like they would fit, one person, much less two, so I don't know how erotic it's going to be. But then he made the point that it had this, you could get them with chrome, or you get them with the tardy gold-plated fixtures. And he would do commissions, and he did people's apartments and people's bathroom renovations. And was very interested in this idea of, again, trying to explore the distinctions between, work and, art and architecture, maybe, or art and construction. This is more toilets. He exhibited this in Brussels, this whole room full of toilet fixtures, which obviously is kind of another reference to Duchamp and the whole urinal fountain sculpture, I guess. Then in 1995, the MoMA Museum of Modern Art had a big exhibit of Dutch design. And they, at the same time as the exhibit, they commissioned a bunch of designers to redo the cafe, the garden cafe in MoMA. And there are these lights that get a little cut off at the top that are made, like these famous Drew design lights, and these aluminum chairs, another famous young Dutch designer. And then they asked Joep van Lieshout, they commissioned him to make these busing stations, and then these cars, and then he made garbage cans. And they're all this trademark kind of fiberglass, rough, finished, gigantic, sort of minimalist sculpture looking thing. As you may know, MoMA was renovated and expanded a couple years ago, 2004, and then about 2001 they put everything in storage and started work on the construction. I do fundraising and stuff for MoMA, so I ended up being a lot involved in this whole fundraising side of things. And, I just recently remembered these. I found my old exhibition catalog with these pictures were in, and I thought, what happened to those? Because I haven't seen them. The new cafe is, right here where this is like a super high-end restaurant now. And the cafe is upstairs, and it's a completely different design. And I'm like, I wonder what happened to those things. And if they're sort of off the radar, I don't, my wife's in the back, she's like dying to find good to say it, but maybe we could get those. Let's put this, like the idea of like collecting a 20-foot long fiberglass 1-ton busing station is probably going to lose me some points tonight at home, but it was the thought that I had. Maybe just the carts. Maybe just get a nice MoMA Provenance cart to wheel around the house. So and his career, this is 95, his career has gone on tremendously, and this stuff is, this kind of work is very well respected, and, presumably you would sell for something, if you ever sell it. Well, so I emailed the curator of the show, who was a friend, and asked what happened. She's like, I've got no idea. So they emailed around, and it turns out that when they closed MoMA, they knew that they saved the chairs, up here, these aluminum chairs, that stockpiled in the warehouse in Queens. They saved those lights, because those are by a famous designer, so they better save the lights. Nobody knows what happened to these things. They're like, wait, how long is it? How big is it? What color is it? And they're like, I don't know, I guess we could look. And so it's sort of whereabouts unknown at the moment. The works that were actually commissioned from an artist who has gone on to make even more art that's very related to this. And makes works for MoMA, which I love with all my heart in case they ever watch this tape. It's sort of whereabouts unknown. So when he was exploring the section, the intersection of art and construction, I think now these pieces are probably exploring, demolition and salvage. It's a whole new phase for his work. But, it's like, I don't know what it is. I really don't, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.